Presented by chargebackgurus.com.
The 3 types of chargeback protection services. Chargebacks can come at you from so many different directions, and it can be tough to come up with a strategy to stop them all. The tools and prevention methods that work to minimize true fraud chargebacks, for example, will do nothing to help you avoid chargebacks that result from merchant error or friendly fraud. Many merchants feel overwhelmed by the scale of the chargeback problem and turn to their payment processors and outside vendors for help. Some of these providers offer chargeback protection in the form of services or guarantees that promise to mitigate the threat of chargebacks. Do chargeback protection plans really work? For merchants, a chargeback isn't just a loss of revenue in the same way a refund might be. When fees and operating expenses are factored in, the true cost of a chargeback can be up to 2.5 times the original disputed transaction amount. What's even worse is that every chargeback is held against you. When merchants exceed the threshold of allowable chargebacks set by their payment processor or acquirer, they might face additional penalties or even have their merchant accounts terminated. With consequences like these, preventing chargebacks must be a priority for every merchant. Effective chargeback defense requires a comprehensive strategy. You need anti-fraud tools and screening practices to block true fraud, process review and training to eliminate merchant error chargebacks. And as for friendly fraud, those can be the hardest chargebacks to prevent. What are the different chargeback protection services? There are 3 main categories of chargeback protection. Chargeback alerts work by notifying merchants about disputes in progress and giving them a chance to resolve the problem. Chargeback deflection is a service that allows real-time collaboration between issuers and merchants to prevent friendly fraud. Chargeback guarantees are protection plans that attempt to prevent disputes and cover the cost of certain chargebacks that make it through. All of these services cost money, but merchants may find that investing in a chargeback solution is worth it compared to the cost of enduring chargebacks, spending time and resources fighting them, and dealing with the consequences of an excessive chargeback rate. What are chargeback alerts? Chargeback alerts are offered through providers that have partnered with specific card brands. Verify offers chargeback alerts for Visa cards, and Ithaca offers them for MasterCard. When you enroll in a chargeback alert service, you will receive an alert notification anytime a dispute is taken up by an issuing bank in the provider's network. You then have a short window of time, usually 24 hours, to take action before the dispute turns into a chargeback. With chargeback alerts, your options are to either issue an immediate refund, neutralizing the need for a chargeback, or take no action and accept the chargeback, which may be a better option if you are sure that you can fight the chargeback and win. Verify also offers rapid dispute resolution, which allows merchants to set rules for automatic refund issuance. Chargeback alerts can be very effective at bringing your chargeback rates down, but they will cost you. You're still out of the refund amount for each dispute that you resolve, and you have to pay a fee for each alert you receive. What is chargeback deflection? Verify and Ithaca also offer more advanced early chargeback warning systems that give you more options for dealing with disputes before they become chargebacks. Order Insight by Verify and Ithaca Eliminator both integrate your customer database to grant issuers' customer service representatives the ability to look up orders, transaction information, and even shipping details when a cardholder calls them with a dispute. Many friendly fraud chargebacks originate from miscommunication, confusion, forgetfulness, or a cardholder's preference for dealing with their bank instead of the merchant. These disputes can often be resolved by providing the cardholder with information about the charge. Examples would include cardholders who dispute a valid charge simply because they don't recognize the merchant identifier on their bank statement, or ones who assume that the merchant has just taken their money and disappeared because they weren't aware of any shipping delays. Chargeback deflection services allow the issuer to pass along this information to their customers, resulting in fewer chargebacks. Chargeback deflection requires more complex integrations than other forms of chargeback protection, but they do offer an effective, proactive way to mitigate non-malicious friendly fraud chargebacks. What are chargeback guarantees? Some payment processors and fraud prevention companies, such as No Fraud, Riskified, Signified, and Stripe, offer chargeback protection guarantees. These providers use machine learning, risk scoring, and other methods to screen transactions for possible fraud indicators. If a merchant does later receive a chargeback on one of these transactions, the provider covers the cost. Chargeback guarantees usually carry some fine print. They may only cover certain chargeback reason codes, or only cover costs up to a certain dollar amount. Chargeback guarantees also typically increase your per-transaction processing costs. Conclusion. Which chargeback protection methods are right for you? It depends heavily on where your chargebacks are coming from and why you're getting them. Investing in a chargeback protection solution that doesn't address the bulk of your chargebacks can be counterproductive. Any good chargeback prevention plan will require you to analyze the data from your past chargebacks to learn the root causes behind them. Once you know why chargebacks are happening to you, you can revise your operations to eliminate some of the causes, deploy targeted tools and solutions, and evaluate which chargeback protection methods will have the best chance of bringing your overall chargeback rate down. It's also important to note that some solutions require more merchant resources than others. Chargeback deflection services need to be integrated with your CRM system, and chargeback alerts only work if you have staff available 24/7 to respond to them. Chargeback management firms can make this easier on you by handling integrations, providing round-the-clock alert monitoring, and showing you the data and reporting that lets you know how well your various prevention solutions are performing.
To learn more, visit chargebackgurus.com.